Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. Today I have a rather amazing trick in Excel. Excel handles dates and times, and they started tracking Excel dates January 1st, 1900. So we can handle everything after that. And really, we run into a weird problem if we try and calculate times that end up negative. The one example I have here is maybe a company has comp time. You're supposed to work 8 hours, but if you work more than 8 hours in a certain day, then you can take that later in the week. So, here we have someone who started out with a comp time balance of 2 hours. They work 10 hours on Tuesday, so now their comp time balance is 4 hours. They work another 10 hours on Wednesday, so now their comp time balance is up to 6 hours. Thursday, they leave it, after 4 hours, so now their comp time balance is down to 2. Well, Friday, they want to take another 4 hours off, and maybe the company says that's okay, you're allowed to go negative. But when we copy this formula down, which is going to come up to negative 2 hours, Excel completely freaks out. You're not allowed to have negative time, and that's because basically time is stored as a decimal portion of a day, and when you go to negative time, you're actually going back into December 31st, 1899, which is illegal to Excel. Well, there's an amazing solution, and I have to tell you, if you're going to use this solution, you have to decide to use it before you start to create the workbook. I'm going to show you a problem. Our dates over here are in 2004. I'm going to go to Tools, Options, and then we'll go to the Calculation tab and use the 1904 date system. Now, the 1904 date system is there for compatibility with people using a Macintosh. But when we click OK, amazingly now, Excel is able to handle a negative time. And what's going on is with the 1904 date system, basically what happens is Excel takes the date and time that you show and adds 4 years to it and presents it that way. So that way a date of 1900 is showing up as 1904. The beautiful thing about that is when we have our dates of basically January 1st, 1900, Excel is thinking that it's 1904, and so when we go a few hours before that, we're going to a date in 1903, which is perfectly legal. So very interesting if you're maybe in human resources tracking times and you need to allow times to go just a little bit negative. Obviously you can't go more than 4 years in negative time, but if you just need a little bit of negative time, you can turn on the 1904 date system and actually have Excel do what generally is thought to be impossible with Excel. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.